Good morning. Welcome back to Investing with Daren. In this first episode of Portfolio Update, I'm here to just talk about my portfolio, just walk through what I have, what my plans are, and I hope to make this a quarterly update. Let's dive right in. Finally found out how to record my screen and show myself. Okay, this is a spreadsheet with my stock portfolio. So you can see I've got 5 stock holdings all in the US stock market: Tesla, Apple, CRISPR Therapeutics, Pacific Biosciences, and GameStop. So 2 in tech. Some people still consider Tesla as automotive, but Elon Musk has said that he expects the energy business to be bigger than the automotive business in the coming decade. And they are actually one of the world leaders in AI research. Alright, so here's how we read this. Let's start with Tesla, since that's my biggest holding. I've started my investing journey in August last year, very recent. So when I bought in, it was pre-stock split. So I believe Tesla did a 5-for-1 stock split. And these are all split adjusted pricing. So most of my holdings are Tesla. You can see I gradually added them in subsequent months. I continue to add into them. So my average cost price right now for Tesla is $475. Everything here you see is in US dollars. And so today I've got 420 Tesla shares at a current closing price of $678. I've got net gains of 85,000. That's a 43% gain. Yay. Again, last year some people made a 7x gain, especially if you invested in for multiple years. I'm really new into this, so I'm going to be very humble and just continue growing. Tesla is 84% of my portfolio today. Next, I've got Apple. I love Apple products. You see me wearing Apple Watch. I've got iPhones. I'm using the AirPods Pro. I've got our AirPods Max. You name it, I have most of their products. Many of you who know me know I love Apple. So very, very small holdings, safe stock. I intend to add on Apple eventually as well. And small gains, so 4% of my portfolio. CRISPR and Pacific Biosciences, their genomics. I believe that's going to revolutionize our world in the coming decades. Cure for cancer, cure for a lot of diseases that we now have to live with. So it looks like it is a net loss. It's again a lot of ups and downs. Again, holding all these 4 stocks here for 5 to 10 years. It may change if fundamentals in the company change, but otherwise my intention is to hold them long term and continue adding to these stocks. GameStop, you could think of it almost more as trading or gambling. Some people do believe in the short squeeze or certain fundamentals. Whatever it is, for me, GameStop is money I can afford to lose. I actually bought in at a really high price, $293 back in late January. So I've sold at cost price 20 shares. I sold 30 at a small profit. I still have 50 GameStop shares. I'm holding them. I've got limit orders if they reach the $300-$400 price range, which they may or may not hit. Doesn't matter. It's money I can afford to lose. It's money I do not need right now. So that's my stock portfolio. So it's 339,000 USD as of today. Goes up and down. And total gain so far, it is paper gains of 85,000. What I try to do is I try to take my own notes on fundamentals of the companies I invest in. There's clearly a lot more notes here. It's just an example of the companies I have. Then I also have my own big picture tab where I try to plan a little bit longer term. So I look at my current assets and I break them down in order of liquidity. Cash, the most liquid. I try to make sure there's at least 6 months of cash enough for my expenses, for my wife, my daughter, my family, and to just get through our day-to-day lives. Then I've got stocks. I know I mentioned in the earlier video I targeted a 15% annual rate of return. I've been doing a little bit better than that. If I just look at for last year, it's been decent. So I just put a projection of 20% annual rate of return ongoing. So that's stocks. And lastly, we've got CPF, the Central Provident Fund, or the retirement fund in Singapore. That's money I'm not going to touch. It's just going to be used for retirement, healthcare, and any retirement needs. So that's an emergency buffer. Now, on stocks, I've got to disclose that I also have a meaningful amount of stocks from my current employer, and I cannot talk about that. So here's what we have right now. And if we look at my portfolio, I think the power of compounding interest from 427,000 last year, it's about 650,000 this year. Again, all of these values are in US dollar. and it just grows if we continue to do the right thing. There'll be years, they may even be multiple years where it's down, and there'll be years where it's up. But on average, this is what I'm looking at. So if I put down like two different matrix down here, so I've got, okay, what if I work for another 9 years and it's financial freedom for 2030? It doesn't mean I stop working, but what if these are my goals? So by then, I would get 2.6 million in assets. And in Singapore, you need about 1.5 million US dollars to retire comfortably. So with this, if I say, okay, after 2030, I just don't work at all, I do nothing for 30 years, maybe that's how long I live, and I just do a simple division, I get 7.2k that I can use per month. And again, this is a very, very simple calculation. Obviously, that 2.6 million is going to earn interest if I invest it in the right asset still. This is assuming that it's on flat value. Then another one is, what if I retire now, or I just stop working now and do nothing at all? And say I'm going to live for the next 40 years. So with all my assets today, I'm going to have 1.4k US dollars for the rest of my life. Clearly not enough, especially with a family, but it's a starting point. It's livable. Of course, I also got other small holdings in cryptocurrency. Again, nothing material to talk about. I use Binance to buy my cryptocurrency. So you've heard in the earlier video, I've got Bitcoin, I've got Doge, and I've also got Nano. So as that holding grows in material sum, I'll add this to the sheet as well. One thing I use in Google Sheet is I love this formula, the Google Finance formula. So you can see here, equals to Google Finance, then you put the sticker price at TSLA, comma, then price, and it automatically updates the stock price for me. So I find this formula really helpful. You can see in the formula bar up here. Hopefully one day there'll be a similar formula for cryptocurrency. A friend said there's a JavaScript way to do it, it's copy and paste. So that's something available. So yeah, thank you for watching my first portfolio update. I'll aim to do this every quarter. Hopefully it gets better over time. Let me know if you have any comments. And please also share your own portfolio if you'd like to. You don't have to share the absolute amounts, you can share percentage. We all learn from each other. And again, none of this is investing advice. These are just my perspectives. Invest safe, do your own research, find what works for you. Everyone has different risk appetite. Everyone has different financial needs. See you in the next video. Bye-bye, and have a good weekend.